So, we are creating some base for underpinning, and one of the reasons underpinning is so expensive because of the process, the method used for excavating bays. We have to do it in sections of no more than 1 meter. This particular bay is going to be 80 centimeters from side to side. It's going to look something similar to this, but we will show you how we create that. So we have a gap of around 2 meters between this bay and that bay, so 2 meters is enough to support. It's around 1 meter away from the foundation. This is clay, so you can build on clay, but this is what we use to support the building for the meantime. So what we're doing now is trying to create as perfect as possible sort of sides to these bays, so they look really neat and they will connect nicely to one another once they're all finished. Later on you will see how we insert pins into the sides, hence why it's called underpinning. We're also going to be building cages and insert cages, so you'll see all this process. This is the final preparation for a bay. Steve is now knackered. He might not survive the day, so if you think that £2,000 per linear meter is expensive for underpinning, come and speak to Steve. Steve, what have you got to say for people who think it's too expensive?
Too cheap. We're doing it at £2 grand.
There you go, it's too cheap. Prices are going up now. So, on a serious note, you can see now how the bay is quite neat. We try to keep the walls nice and straight. So again, we will be putting pins across there, 12 millimeters pins. This foundation, you'll see the shape of it. So the floor levels, let me just get the lighting right. So this is our floor level. We'll be concreting on top of this. This is our foundation for the underpinning. We will have a cage put in place 50 mil away from the wall, and we will flood this in exactly the same way as we've done this one. So now here you will see we have a gap, which is around 50 mil to 70 mil gap between the new concrete and the old stone. And what we're going to be doing, and you'll see the process of filling the gap with a dry pack. A dry pack is a form of fill that we use sharp sand and cement, deprive of water, so there's really minimal amount of water in there so it doesn't shrink. And this is when the underpinning is complete. 48 hours later we can then move on to the one next to it. So for now we've left 2 meters, and this is the 3rd meter or the 4th meter away from the first one. And then we have to do one over there, and then 2 meters away, and then one over there, and then 2 meters away, and one over there. And this is what this other side looks like. You can just about see. This one's going to have a wall, a concrete wall going up.
Sure. Is that a bit more? Yeah.
So this is where we tie the rebar using the Makita rebar tire. Really good machine. Bring it down a bit. Okay. So we're going to be mixing using the Evolution mixer, quite cheap, like £100 on the internet. I won't give you the number, I'm not bothered about this. Right, so I'll show you how this is mixed. So I've got some 3 parts of sand, sharp sand to 1 part of cement, and now I'm just going to mix it dry. So this is not enough probably to mix it, but I'll show you my method of mixing by hand, just to flip it over. So you just lift your left hand like that, and you'll see how it's mixing, and then you can give it a final mix. And this is how we mix dry pack. Right, we are ready for dry packing. This is dry packing. This is literally no water, sand and cement, 3-to-1, sharp sand and cement. So dry packing, it's very crumbly. However, when you squash it with your hands, with your fist, it stays sort of rigid, and then it can just crumble again. So this is a good consistency of dry pack. Now dry pack gets in this gap over there, which is between 50 and 90 mil. I've already stuffed some in there, but we're going to show you sort of the process of putting the stuff in and then compacting it using this thing. You'll see in a second what dry packing looks like. Right, so we take a tray. The best way to do it is take a tray, rest it on top, and load some of the muck on top, and then slowly, without coming off the edge, you getting rid of it by shaking it and pushing, shaking it and pushing. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit more on this side. And again, as you shake it, it comes off the board, and then you compress it using the end of the board. And this is just to keep it on like that. Going to do on this side. And again, shake and push. You don't need to try to compact it too much with the board at this point. So now we're going to compact it with a 3x2 by pushing it like that. You can start hitting it with a hammer, but there's so much you can compress it with a hammer. So we use this on a hammer action, hammer stop, and this is basically just a dead end of a chisel that we broke off. And then very carefully, you will see how the board, how the timber is actually compressing against, and it's moving inwards. now we're compacting it. And then we're going to do another lot and another push with the stick. On the left hand side you see there's a little hole there, so we will be filling this with more mix. So when you're doing this, you want to have maybe a clean floor underneath, because you'll see some of it falls. So if you can film the floor, you'll see some of it just falls down. And then we can start making it nice and beautiful by taking a trowel and then compressing it with a trowel and then smoothing it over. And the idea is that when you're compressing it, it's going to hold the layer that is suspended in the air, and because there's no water, it's not going to shrink. So once I finish, we will show you how that looks when it's completed. So this is the dry pack finished, and you can see it looks nice. It doesn't have to be like straight, but providing you're holding back these stone. I mean, in this case you've got stone, it's all over the place, you can see, so you're not going to make a very tidy job from it, but like something like that. But as long as you have contact between the underneath side of that, or the majority of it, this is the underpinning pad. We call them bays, or we call them pins. So these are 1 meter wide, no more than 1 meter wide. Sometimes they are 70 centimeters, 80 centimeters, but they go in 20 centimeters, 25 centimeters deep. So you want to make sure that the dry pack goes the equivalent depth of that. So sometimes you have a big gap where there's no way of doing a dry pack, so it's been dry packed underneath that, and then I just break this up very roughly. All this is going to get covered with membrane. All these stones are going to get chopped off and go back into the wall, but this is effectively what it looks like. This is when you have bricks, and this is the one I'm about to do now.